In Breath of the Wild, you get a fair share of offensive equipment options, as well as defensive ones to help you progress the game. Things such as swords, bows, shields, and armor are always available slots on Link. A sword is pretty much necessary to beat the game, but technically, you don't need any armor. So, how effectively can you beat the game without equipping any armor? A challenge run needs its rules, so let's go over them. No equipping any clothing. I'll be playing on Master Mode. I must conquer all divine beasts before beating Ganon. No champion gifts, except for Rivali's Gale. No revival items, which would mean fairies. No Master Sword. No amiibos. And no exploits or glitches, such as overloading the menu or wind bombing. With that out of the way, let's begin. We start the game waking up at the Shrine of Resurrection. Wakey wakey, it's time for school. We go grab the Sheikah Slate and went on to open some chests, which I forgot contained clothes, so can't use those. Can I kill these? After messing around a bit, I continue Zelda's tutorial and make it outside. I couldn't figure out how to adjust my microphone gain without picking up all kinds of other noise, but for some reason I just didn't really think of lowering the game volume, so that resulted in some moments like this. I tried it first back in 2017. Anyway, there's an old guy, let's go talk to him. Okay, never mind, he's not telling me where to go. Zelda called and told me though, so we good. After narrowly avoiding death to a bokoblin, I make my way there, and there are bokoblins there too. Okay! I hit the shield out of the bokoblin's arms, stole it, and just decided to head for the objective. The tower goes up, and Link looks at the castle. After having gotten down to the tower, the old man offers me his paraglider in exchange for 4 spirit orbs. First up is the Magnesis Shrine. Guardians. This was of course just a scout, but there's still going to be a problem, especially when I'm this underpowered. I was trying to crush it with the metal blocks, but I didn't exactly have that much luck with that. So, first death of this run was to a Guardian Scout. That's great. The second try went a lot better though. 1 spirit orb down, 3 more to go. I also found my first Korok. And then I had my first successful fight with a bokoblin. I found the location of the next shrine and also this guy. I mean, hey, I didn't die though. I entered the shrine and collected the best rune in the game.
Bombs?
I got done with the shrine and collected the spirit orb. Later, I scout out the next shrine I'm going to, which is going to be a pain to get to because of the cold. Since I don't have any cold resistance food, then I'm just going to be taking damage every few seconds. Better run to that shrine. Get in, get in, get in, get in. I was relying on being healed at the end of the shrine, but that works, I guess. The second try went a lot better. I did have to try not to get shot while bombing it, and to also not hit my own Cryonisis pillar. And the third spirit orb is mine. While looking for the last shrine, I found some spicy peppers and a cooking pot. Unfortunately, I was not given the piece to cook any cold resistance food, so that kinda sucked. It took me so long to find the shrine running around in the cold, so I just had to look it up. You see that option right there, right? I promise you I was spamming that. Anyway, the shrine was pretty easy. Afterwards, the old guy senses that I've collected all the spirit orbs and tells me to go meet him somewhere else. I go there and wow, he's like King Rome and something about the kingdom, I guess. I don't know, we can make it down now though. The first thing I did was look for a horse with a gentle temperament and rode it over to my favorite stable. I can't exactly say that I thought far enough as to what to name it, so say hello to capital D. Oh yeah, and turns out, clothes aren't entirely useless. I can sell them. While playing this game normally, I had a habit of never doing any of the shrines when I found them. So in this one, I'm just gonna do the shrines when I find them. By the way, you know how you can press down the right joystick to place down pins directly on the map? Yeah, no, I can't do that. Mine's broken. I just gotta eyeball it when I'm looking for the next tower. Fortunately, I managed to locate one, but unfortunately, I could distinctly remember that this one had a decayed guardian, which didn't really matter because I died to it anyway. I did parry it on my second try though, and the other decayed guardian on my 1.5 try? I got up the tower and got the map though, yay. I'll have to cover a lot of ground, so I figured I'd go get a better horse. If you're wondering how my current horse feels about being replaced, don't worry, he seems to be taking it quite well. After a long time of trying to mount one, I ended up with this blue horse, which I creatively named P. Feeling like I've adequately prepared at the stable, I finally start my journey over to Kakariko. At this point in the game, I'm still pretty underpowered, so many of the enemy encounters went a bit like this.
It's me, Mario! Bye-bye!
On my way, I naturally unlocked the Dueling Peaks tower, and there was one of those DLC floaty things. In the chest, I got this, which I thought was too overpowered at the time, but it ended up just not really being a problem. In a nearby shrine, there was a treasure that I just couldn't figure out how to get to. After a while of trying to figure it out, I finally do it. I finally get to it. And it is something we can't even use. Well, it should at least be worth a couple rupees. It didn't take long before I found another shrine on my way. But just take a look at this. And now take a look at this. And then this. I don't understand why they... Well, whatever. Well, anyways, I continue over to Kakariko. Okay, I guess we'll try again. Really? It saved right the millisecond I died? Ugh. Holy... On the way I meet Hestu, whose maracas I gotta go get from a bunch of enemies. Fortunately, I could just bomb them off the cliff. Having gotten his maracas, I got him to upgrade my stash a bit. I finally make it to Kakariko, and after a quick stop at the shrine, I meet up with Impa, who probably says something important about the calamity or whatever, but I got the questline about freeing the divine beasts, so let's go. Actually, hold on a second, I just want to make a visit to Hateno. No, horse! I only had enough for the Sheikah sensor, but we'll be back later. Okay, now let's go. First divine beast, Va Meadow. Getting to the divine beasts is probably what takes the longest. Naturally, for more comfortable travel, I wanted to unlock more of the map, and so I spotted a new tower. Tiny problem, those are Electrolizalfos and Wizrobes in water, so it wasn't exactly a comfortable climb. And on top of that, I found out that I actually took a really dumb route. I never even had to ditch my horse. Fortunately, I did find a stable nearby. I made some cold resistance food for up ahead, but... Oh wow, it's really cold here. Yeah, mild foreshadowing. Either way, I finally make it to Rito village. I speak with Elder Canelli, who asks me to go find Teba, awarding me of the questline Divine Beast Va Meadow. I find out from his wife that he is at the flight range, which she also mentions is a straight shot from Rivali's landing. The mention is also strong enough to remind Link of a time where he used to wear clothes. But to the flight range we go. Teba, getting an interesting first impression on Link, doesn't quite think he's up to the task, and asks him to shoot a bunch of targets to prove he is. Now semi-convinced of my abilities, we head off. Fortunately, Va Meadow is one of the easiest divine beasts to infiltrate. Despite that though, Teba somehow managed to get injured, which, honestly, skill issue.
Well now, I've seen that face before.
Hello! First thing I'll need to do is get a map, though I made the discovery that it is the level 2 cold effect, not 1. But honestly, I'm just too impatient to go back and make better food, I'm just gonna raw dog it. So while taking damage over time, I got the map and all the terminals. And that leaves only the main control unit left. I tried to register it, but this thing comes out instead.
I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but you must avenge me, Link.
Sure.
My resolution? Airstrikes. Bomb them. Bomb them. Keep bombing them.
How did you die to this? And with that, I get a heart container, Rivali's Gale, and Va Meadow is now free. Now, onto the second divine beast, Varuta. Before heading for Zora's domain, I first made an upgrade to my bombs. Unlike when making it to Rito village, the terrain over to Zora's domain wasn't actually as annoying as I remembered, so making it there didn't take all that long. I go speak to King Dorephan, who quests me with freeing Varuta. I'm also given the Zora armor, which I am forced to wear to prove that I was close to Mipha. To be able to take on Varuta, I need to collect 20 shock arrows from Mount Ploymus. And this is where the pain begins. Normally, to get to where you're meant to go now, you're meant to use the Zora armor to swim up waterfalls. And I can't do that. So instead, I need to create my own staircase from Cryonis. Meanwhile, Lizalfos are shooting at me, and they can one-shot me. So while I have to make sure I snipe them before they spot me, I have to construct a tedious ice staircase as I go. And like with what you'd expect from an ice staircase in the rain, you might slip, forcing you to do it all over. Well, I finally get to the top. Unfortunately, that's the end of... Never mind. Oh, you're kidding me. After whatever you call that, I collect shock arrows as I'm tasked. There's of course also a Linella up there, and while fighting it is optional, I chose to do it anyway. Before continuing the Varuta questline, I do the Royal White Stallion side quest for later convenience. Nice. Anyway, back to Varuta. Sidon, however, does force me to use the Zora armor. The attack on most divine beasts works the same. Shoot the arrow at the glowing spot.
You must break that ice.
Yeah, okay. Ah! As I board the divine beast, I make sure to take off the clothes again. I unlock the map and the terminals. Okay, anyway, Waterblight Ganon. I've heard some people say they think Varuta is easier than Valmedo, and I'm gonna have to say I disagree. I think from the boss alone that Varuta is harder than Valmedo. Also, every time I attempted a flurry brush, I just landed in the water. So, I don't know what I was meant to do about that. Anyway, I took it down and Varuta is now free. As well as Mifa, who gifts me Mifa's Grace, which I can't use. Regardless, the second divine beast has been freed. And now, the next divine beast, Varudania. Naturally, I head on over to the tower to begin with. This region is probably the biggest issue of all the 4 divine beasts, as you need the fireproof effect to not constantly burn. I catch fireproof lizards exactly to help with that. However, I discover that they can only create the level 1 effect, which without fireproof armor does nothing. To get the level 2 effect, you need smother wing butterflies, which I couldn't figure out where to get, so I have to buy them from Beetle, but I didn't know when he restocked. So with the one effective potion I had, I made the progress I could. Since I regardless have to wait, I decided to make some progress on the Vanaboris questline as well. Oh yeah, and of course the Gerudo wear is completely unavoidable. For simplicity, I'll only be counting it as 1 unable to get dressed count for each time I'm equipping and entering Gerudo village. Feeling like I've adequately stocked up, I continue the Varudania questline. And this was definitely the most frustrating infiltration. You need to get past sentries, and if you get spotted, it starts to rain magma bombs. Link is not the only one who can get spotted. This took so incredibly long. Okay, I'd like to get out of this. And you're going back! And after all my effort, I found out that these metal boxes can just one-shot them. After a million years of that, I finally get to enter Varudania.
Hey, little guy. Long time no see.
Hello. Now the cool thing about Varudania is this. The inside is completely dark, up until you get the map. But I still find it pretty cool. As per standard procedure, I get the map and all the terminals. For some reason, Varudania and Daruk were just not that memorable to me. Which is a shame, because I think this Divine Beast has probably got my favorite soundtrack. Okay, so anyway, Fireblight Ganon. I had completely forgotten how this boss works. So I got through the first phase on my first try. I did have to Google what to do on the second phase though.
Looks like you're hurt.
I'm good. Don't worry about me, Daruk. What? It was really with Fireblight that I felt like I was scraping off the rust. Despite might and defense food being completely off the table due to Flame Guard, it only took me 3 tries to beat Fireblight. Daruk's spirit appears, gives me Daruk's protection, which I also cannot use, and Varudanya is now the 3rd out of 4 divine beasts to be freed. As a reward, I get the relevant champion's weapon, Boulder Breaker, which does a whopping 60 damage. Not so subtle foreshadowing, this weapon really mattered. Before doing the last Divine Beast quest, I wanted to catch the other special horse in the game. On the way to register it though, I had to fight a blue Linnell. What? Why is there a fairy here? Okay, I'll just have to use it right now. I actually thought I needed to fight 2 of them, but I could just ride past the second one without any problems. As per tradition, I named the horse greater than Colon 3. I did some unlocking and collecting before I set out for the 4th and final divine beast, Vanaboris. Now back in Gerudo town, I was tasked with getting the family heirloom Thunderhelm back from the Yiga clan at their hideout. This part of the quest is a stealth mission. I do not like stealth missions. After some tries, I did manage to get to the boss, Master Koga. Anyway, I beat him without major problems and obtained the Thunderhelm. I go back to Gerudo town to give it back to Riju, who instructs me to go to the lookout post with her in order to infiltrate Vanaboris. I meet her there, and we proceed. Try nearby! Okay, cool. That's not what I'm doing. Riju's always either a little too slow or a little too fast, making it a bit difficult to stay within her protective barrier. To make things worse though, the seal surfing controls were just not cooperating at times, making it almost impossible to get back into Riju's range.
Don't try.
I'm trying! Where am I going? I do succeed though and enter Vanaboris.
But overconfidence can be a deadly foe.
Which I was about to find out firsthand, because I had severely underestimated how hard I remember the boss being. It took an insanely long time, mainly because of the flurry rush window being so small, and unlike the other blights, it couldn't just be shot at because of its shield.
There's valor in dodging.
Bye. After nearly an hour and 12 deaths, I do manage to beat it though. With that, I've taken back control of Naboris and set Urbosa's soul free.
Please accept this gift, which has come to be known as Urbosa's Fury. It will no doubt be of use to you.
I actually have some doubts about that. Either way, the final divine beast has now been taken back under control. Only one task remains. Destroy Ganon. So I got on my horse and rode my way to Hyrule Castle, though there were so many guardians there. I tried to go around them, but to get to the main entrance, I just kinda had to run right into them and hope I dodged the beams. Right in front of the entrance, however, there was a guardian stalker that was unavoidable, but I dealt with it pretty smoothly on my second try. Having made my way onto castle grounds, I looked for a quick way on over to enter the castle itself, which actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. Inside the castle lies the final battle. Having been held at bay by Zelda for 100 years, Ganon breaks free, allowing me to fight him. First though, because I fought all the divine beasts, they fire lasers at him.
We'll use the power of friendship. Yo, that flinch is crazy.
Which takes Ganon down to half health. If you didn't beat the divine beasts, you'd have to fight the blights here instead. The first phase isn't too bad. Like most blights, you can just shoot at him, but it's the second phase where the issues become obvious. Ganon becomes completely invincible to regular attacks. In order to hit him, you need to get a flurry rush or parry his projectiles. And may I remind you, this is master mode. Enemies heal when they haven't been hit in too long. If I get bad enough RNG, he can just heal stall almost full health while not giving me any opportunities to do damage. When you only have a few weapons that do a reasonable amount of damage, in an endurance test, Ganon will win. I simply can't afford to miss majority of the attack windows I get, or else that attempt might just already be failed. However, through perseverance, one try solidified itself as the victorious one. With some small optimizations, enjoy the full fight of the world-ending Ganon versus shirtless Link. And where are you? Stop heel stalling. That is rude. Oh, I don't know why. Finally! Oh my god. The hard part is now over with, but there is still one task left for Link. Ganon has given up on reincarnation, becoming hatred and malice incarnate, Dark Beast Ganon. With a bow of light, Link must put one final end to Ganon.
Link, you may not yet be at a point where you have fully recovered your power, or all of your memories. But courage need not be remembered, for it is never forgotten. Now use his attacks to your advantage. Finish him, Link!
And Ganon has been defeated.
Thank you, Link. The hero of Hyrule. May I ask?
Will you close it?
Thanks so incredibly much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this video, though it took an extremely long time to make. So please do consider subscribing, as it would help me out a lot. If you have any suggestions for what you want to see next, if you maybe want this challenge run down on Tears of the Kingdom, please say so in the comments below. Alright, I'll see you next video. Bye bye.